today we're gonna go play the 12,500 Rand main event at the Caledon series. It's a 3-day event, so let's see how it goes. I'm gonna try and play my best. Firstly, there's 2 satellites today, one at 11 o'clock and one at 2 o'clock. If you don't know what a satellite is basically a cheaper way to get into the tournament. So there's a bunch of people playing, the buy-in is much less, and then like the top 10 or the top 8 will be paid a ticket for the main event, so you can get in much cheaper. So if that doesn't work out for me, I'll just buy in straight. But guys, this is stressful. Let's go for it. Let's see if I can actually cash a main event at the Shuffle Up Poker Series here at Caledon. This is going to be tough. These are some of the best South African players out there. So let's see how it goes. But first we need to go for some breakfast and then it's time for the satellite. So come, let's go. Okay, going to breakfast. Nice thing about the Caledon Hotel is that you get free inclusive buffet breakfast, which is sick. So everything is nice. Even dinner is free if you come play poker. So cool. Gotta have coffee before your poker, guys. It's necessary. Okay, on my way to the main event satellite. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Let me know if you like this. I do everything, making money, poker, trading, everything. So let me know what you think about it. Basil, how do you win a poker tournament?
Bluff everything that you must.
Everything.
Everything that you must.
And if you hit?
Then everyone will think you're bluffing.
Okay guys, just bluff everything. Apparently that's how you win as much as he does. Let's see how it goes. Let's talk about one of my first hands in the satellite, okay? This was quite early. Please excuse me if my hand histories are a little bit weird. I'm still working on the editing and getting everything correct. And if my positioning and everything's incorrect, I'm just going off my notes of that day. So everything might not be 100% correct, but I have some video footage as well that you guys will see. But yeah, I was under the gun, so I raised. I have pocket 8s over here. And then we had a player here that calls me. And then we have Yochi here in the cutoff position that also calls. Okay. So I raised. We have a caller. And then they all folded. Okay. Then the flop came 10, 8, 9. Okay. Diamonds, club. Okay. I raise again. He calls again. This position. Calls again. And Yochi just snapped all ins like immediately. I obviously sitting with the trip 8s. Call as well, or goes all in as well. And this player goes all in as well. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? Someone's definitely going for the flush. And someone maybe top pair or something like that. But then this player opens ace 9. So I'm definitely beating them easily. And then Yochi shows pocket 10s. Crazy. But you'll never guess what happens. Go to the clip. I got quads with my 8s. Pocket 10s. 8s. Quads. Ace 9. 8s. Crazy.
25, 7.
Alright, double.
10.
Quad 8s.
20.
Balance come to me.
1, 2, 2.
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was actually running quite hot in this satellite until maybe 30% left to go. That's where I started running badly. I obviously lost an all-in with 2 tables to... Well, with 1 table to go before being in the money. So I fell out like 14th and the top 7 or top 6 were paid, okay? Top 6 were paid and I fell out like 14th-ish. But anyway, there was another hand here. I can't exactly remember where I was sitting in terms of the positioning, but all I remember was that this player went all in. And the thing with these satellites is, especially with these types of players and the the money that's flowing around here, you have to be as aggressive as well. So we had an all-in here with a chip stack that was smaller than mine, and we had another all-in here with a chip stack that was smaller than mine. It folded back to me, and I was in position, or I had a pocket sevens, right? And I covered both of them. So it was actually a tough decision, being the third caller of an all, or well, being a caller of an all-in with 3 people in it. But because these people were jamming so widely, and you need to like know your player profiles, know what these type of guys do all the time. Do they do this a lot, or they tight players, whatever. But anyway, this player had ace jack, and this player had ace 2. But luckily, I called, and the flop came with a 7. Go to the clip to see how I knocked them out.
How much you got left?
Pocket sevens, let's go.
You got
What's your
11-6. You must put 24 into that pot already. For him, 20,000 pounds. Didn't finish it. Yeah, already. And yours is covered, so basically
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, break in the satellite. I've got over 70k chips roughly, and I just did an add-on for another 40 or 50k chips. Let's see how it goes. Now all the gambling's done. The people on my table were playing crazy. That's why I went all in twice with those hands. But let's see how this goes.
60, 73.
Let's go. Pocket tens.
Okay.
Okay, so the main event today will be a 50k stack. It'll be 40-minute levels, which is nice and slow. The perfect way how I like playing poker. So I'm just going to play very slow, conservatively, wait for nice hands, and then play them hard and try and build big pots once I have good cards or the nuts or whatever. So yeah, guys, let's see how it goes. On our way to the main event. Ready to buy him, Gareth. Are you ready?
Ready?
Are you stressed? Are you only have 1 bullet or 2 bullets?
I got 2 bullets, but
I'm considering the second one.
Hopefully we don't get to use it. Hopefully we don't run
Same.
into races. Hopefully we hold up. And hopefully we see each other on final table.
Yeah, that would be sick. Okay, cool guys, we're going to the main event. Let's go. If you register first, will you win the main event? Dirk?
Of course I will.
We will
Of
find
course.
out with Dirk. Okay, so a hand that I got in the main event, I was on the big blind and I got pocket 9s on the big blind. Everyone else folded until the cutoff player that then raised quite large with like 3 or 4 big blinds. I can't remember exactly what he raised, but it was quite large. I remember I made a note that it was a larger raise than usual, usually indicating you're probably defending, like these type of players that I played against, they were raising large when they have like also like a pair like mine, like anything from jacks or lower or something like that. Usually when some of these people have strong hands, they would do a normal 2.1 raise or something like that. So he raised quite big, and I then decided in the big blind, because it's so disguised, I was going to actually just call the 3 or 4 big blinds. Then the flop came 10, 3, 4. No specific, it was rainbow, so there was nothing to do with flushes out there. Then it was on me, so I actually decided to raise here quite large, because I know there's a 10, but what's the odds of him having a 10? Very small. And when I raise here, I can actually see what he does and what type of range he has. If he re-raises me, I'll probably fold. That means probably overpair, or he hit the 10 or whatever. And then if he calls, I know I'm probably still ahead. So I raise quite large to like a 5 or 6 big blinds raise, and he calls me. Okay, and then the turn came my 9, which was perfect. So I hit trips. Basically, probably have the best hand here. Still no flush on the board that I have noted here. And I raise again quite large. This time like 60% of the pot. Okay, I raise 60% of the pot, and he calls again. Okay, he calls again, and then on the river, the ace came, which is a perfect card to receive, especially if you have trips, because that will mean if he had any ace X that he will hit and then probably call. Then I just bet over pot, because you need to get value out of these hands, and because the ace came, anything if you have ace king, ace queen, ace 10, anything, he would then call. And I bet pot, and he called me, and I won a huge hand. He mucked his cards after I showed my trips, which was perfect. So a nice hand there in the main event. I took like, I don't know, 20k chips in total, if I remember correctly, something like that from him. So that was nice. Okay, this one was a tricky hand, I'm not going to lie. I think I played this one a little bit wrong, but you guys are more than welcome to say what you think in the comments. I was on the cutoff with pocket aces. We actually had this under the gun play here raise, quite large as well. I think 2 or 3 blinds, not large, but you know, a normal size raise from under gun, usually a very strong range. He raised and I 3-bet with my aces, okay, because why not? You need to 3-bet with your aces, and we get folds all the way. And then when it came to him, he calls me, okay, so a 3-bet with a call. Okay, I 3-bet quite large. I think the blinds were like 400 and he made it like 1,200, so I made it like 4,000 or something like that, and he calls quite a big pot, especially with our stack sizes still being around the 50k or 60k range. And then the flop came 10, 8 and a 3. So this was a diamond, diamond and a spade. Okay, diamond, diamond and spade. Sorry for my beautiful drawings over here. And then he raised large, like almost pot. I think he raised like 8,000 or 7,000 or something like that. So that was a large raise. And I just decided to snap jam. So I just went all in to try and make him fold any cards like a diamond draw or anything that he can get there, straight draw or something like that. In hindsight, I should have probably just re-raised them again or just called them to see the next card. But I tried to go all in. A lot of players told me this specific player was quite loose in previous tournaments. He was very loose, made loose calls, made loose raises, went all in with not the nuts or anything. So just because it was him, I actually decided to jam to see if I can get a call. But if I could go back in time, I would have probably re-raised or just call him. But yeah, that's how you learn, which is fine. But I still scooped up a massive pot. He probably tanked for like 4 minutes, 3 minutes. It was a very long tank, like people wanted to call time. He told me like, oh, I think you are on pocket jacks or pocket queens. So I don't know what he had, if he put me on pocket queens or pocket jacks. So he probably had a lower pair or ace king or something like that, maybe ace 10. So yeah, it was a difficult one, but he eventually folded. I think he would have wanted to call, but he didn't. So yeah, I think that was a little bit of a mistake, but I still scooped up like a nice pot. Okay guys, break one. I've got around 62,000 chips. Had a very interesting level at aces once, at trip 9s, at trip 6s. Lost a little bit of a pot once there, but you guys will see it in this vlog. But yeah, tough crowd, but going well so far. Sorry for jumping into the middle of this vlog. Please go check out Gold Rush. They are a well-established site that recently launched live poker tournaments and cash games that you need to play. So they've got 5k games, they've got 1k games, and then they have at the end of June a 1 million rand guaranteed game that you definitely need to play, with a bunch of free rolls and 55 rand sets directly into the million. So guys, go check out Gold Rush, link in the description. Sign up and you get 5 deposit bonuses for your first 5 deposit and free spin. So go check out Gold Rush, guys. Okay, so a very, very frustrating hand that I need to tell you guys about. Can't believe this happened at all. So we have the small blind, big blind over here. We get a raise from this player to like 2.3 blinds. Standard, anything, you know, didn't know what he has. It's exactly the same player that I got that trips against on the turn. So he was probably out to revenge on me. I was sitting with ace king off, and I decided to 3-bet. So I made it like 7 blinds. And then falls all the way to him and he calls. Okay. So then the flop came 10, 5, 2, something like that. I only put on my notes the 5. Sorry, it wasn't. I was looking at the wrong notes. It wasn't 10, 5, 2. It was actually 8, 5, 2. the flop game, I raise again because standard c-bet. Probably could have checked because this is the cards that's not in my range, but I raise again, probably a third. I made it a third of the pot. Yeah, I made it a third of the pot. Then there was an ace, which is perfect. Now I got ace with the best kicker, okay? And I was thinking I was all good, yeah. And then I raised again, half pot, and he calls again, okay? So now every time I raise, he calls. And then on the river, the 10 came. I raise again, around a third of the pot again. Could have probably made it more, but he then 3-bets me. 3-bets me, like, quite substantially. Like, I think this was quite in the early stages of the tournament, so that was quite a nice 3-bet. I think this bet over here on the river from me was like 4k, and he 3-bet me to like 10k, or to 12k, sorry. And then I was tanking for a bit because that just felt like a set. This was rainbow though. There was no flush draw on the board, so flushes were out. Straights were basically impossible. Maybe 3-4 could have got there, but I don't know why someone would raise 3-4 and call a 3-bet with it. So I eventually thought maybe he hit a 10 like ace like ace queen, ace jack, ace 9, you know, anything like that, or also maybe ace king. So I literally just then called his 3-bet, and then he sat with 10-5 off, which was super frustrating. Like, who sits with 10-5 off in that position and calls a 3-bet? But yeah, he hit his 2-pair, and he got chips from me. And this was actually quite a few hands after the pocket 9s where I took chips from him. So it was basically even trade almost. I think he might have taken a little bit more from me than what I did from him. So yeah, it was frustrating. I probably could have folded. Usually when they 3-bet, they have it, or a better hand than what you have if you just have one pair. So yeah. Alright, day 1 completed, 60,500 chips. Not bad. Didn't get a lot of hands the last few hours, but it's chilled as long as you play correctly. Hopefully tomorrow some big hands. Let's see what happens. But happy to bag day 1 and don't have to go home yet, so that's awesome. I'm gonna go to bed now, and then we will start day 2 tomorrow. Day 2 here at the main event with Shuffle Up at Caledon. I've got 60,500 chips, around 50 big blinds. So let's see how it goes. I just won a lot with slots, so here's the video of that if you want to see. Kom maar niet op in, Jason. Kom maar niet op in. So that's a crazy win. That's some stress off my shoulders. Now I can play poker freely because my buy-in is basically covered. So let's go. Remember to check out Gold Rush, guys. Link in the description. Come play poker with me on Gold Rush. I also have my WhatsApp group in the description if you want to join and learn how to play. But let's go. What's up, guys? It is now end of late reg. It is lunch break. Okay, and then there were some other hands that it's not super important. I had like pocket 3s. I hit a set on the flop and I made some chips that way. Standard. I think I raised on the flop and he folded, or I raised on the turn again and he folded. And then there was a hand where I had pocket queens. I raised, everyone folded. There were a bunch of those type of hands, and another hand where I flopped the flush. I think I had 10-8 of diamonds, if it says here correctly. Flopped the flush, raised. I think they called once, and then again they folded on the turn. So yeah, there were a few of those hands, but they were quite boring. I'm not going to bore you with that. Here's another hand. I had 18 blinds on the small blind. I remember this very vividly. It was a very stressful situation. Diane was on my left. It folded all the way to this player over here, who then raised to 2.3 blinds. I called and Diane called. So the flop came ace 9 jack. And I had ace 9. Scary though, there was 2 diamonds again and some other thing. I think it was a heart of jack. Okay, so when it came to me again, I raised and Diane went all in. Okay, so she went all in. This guy tanked for a while and then he snapped all in as well, which was very weird. That made me scared again. He had, okay, I'll tell you guys now, and then he went all in, and then eventually I had to call. I mean, I had 2 pair. Obviously, there's some flush draw that can hit or something like that. But eventually, when we showed our cards, he had ace 2 of clubs. So he had no problem. I already destroyed him. I had ace 9. And then Diane had a flush draw. She had 2 diamonds. So the board ran out something and another ace came on the river. So go to that clip because you can see everything that happened there with this hand. Ace 9.
Yeah. Okay. So they're gonna share this one anyway.
Why are they sharing? Why are they sharing?
Hey guys, it's break again. I have 115k. So I tripled up with ace 9, hit the full house on the river, beautiful. Guy called me with 1 pair and another lady went all in. So I'm super happy now, but up again, but still kind of short with regards to the average. But anyway, let's see how it goes until the next break. All right, so right at the end there was 4 tables left. I was quite short stacked at this moment. I was short stacked for most of the last 40% of the main event that I was in, but I'm surviving well. I'm sitting with jacks on this position. The dealer button was over here. Then we got this player that was in the hand as well, but we got this player over here that raised. I like flatting jacks because I always lose huge pots with jacks if I 3-bet and or win big pots with jacks. I'm not a big fan of jacks, but anyway, you need to play them though. So this player raised, I called, and everyone folded except the big blind that also called. Okay, the flop then came 10, 7, 2, rainbow. Nothing specific about the suit was important over there. So this player checked, and this player went all in with his remaining 8 blinds or something like that. I think at this moment I had 16 blinds or 15 blinds or something. So he went all in. I rejammed with my jacks, went all in. The big blind folded, and this player then showed 8, 9 for the open in the straight. But it came brick, and I knocked out this player over here. So that was a nice hand to have as well. So yeah, I'll see you in the next hand. Okay, this was a tilting hand against Nikki, one of the people I play against a lot in poker. So I had king queen suited over here. I think I had around 14 15 blinds as well, plus minus here. There were 3 tables left. This is probably the hand that cost me the tournament in terms of falling out eventually. So king queen over here, I obviously raise. King queen suited, can't fold that. I think it was spades. I actually got then 3 callers. So this one called, Nikki called, and the big blind called. Okay, the flop came queen 9, 6, and I flopped top pair, which is good. So I raised a lot, quite a big amount. I think I raised because there was already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was already 10 blinds in. I raised another 6. So that meant that I was already then left with 8 blinds or a little bit less then. So I raised with 6 big blinds. Fold, we get a fold. And then Nikki decided to 3-bet me. Quite large, basically putting me almost all in with a 3-bet, and then this big blind folded. So I tanked with 2 time cards because I was contemplating jamming, and I think actually jamming is the right thing to do because it's the rest of your cards or the rest of your chips. But the way that Nikki raised with just shouted 2 pair or trips, so after the 2 time bank cards, I decided to fold, and she showed me pocket 9s. So she flopped trips. I mean, well done to her, but it was very sad because I lost so many chips because of the 2 raises. So I survived though, and we went on into the tournament playing more hands. I think there was once I had aces in the big, and I I went all in and everyone folded, and I had kings and I went all in and everyone folded. So those two type of hands, you would actually like someone to call you. I think if someone called me with those hands and I doubled up, I would have also had a very big chance to hit like the final table or something. So that was very sad. Okay, so this was a very sad hand, unfortunately for me. Everyone folded until the small blind. I literally had, I think, 6 big blinds left. This small blind has a large stack. He was probably 60, 70 blinds deep. Crazy. Big stack. I think he went on to be top 5 in this tournament. But anyway, he looks at my stack, asks me how much I have, and I told him, 60k or something. And he just jams on me. And I sat in the big blind with ace-10 suited of hearts, which is perfect. And I was like, cool, snap call, go all in with this hand. He then showed me queen-jack off. I was ahead, which is nice, but stuff like this is still, I think, a 60-40 or 45-55 type flip. You're not going to win always. And then it was brick, 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 and then queen. Sorry, jack. Whatever. Point is, he got me out on the river. I didn't double up, and I fell out of the main event, unfortunately. But it was so much fun. Okay, guys, sad end to the night. Got knocked out 21st. Out of 147 entries, I missed the money by 9 spots. So, missed it by 9 spots, which was like a 30 or 28 or 20, just around the 30k mark. 26k for 12th, which is sad. I ran into a set, lost most of my stack, then went all in with ace-10, and the queen jack called me. And he hit the queen onto the river, which sucks. But anyway, we move on. It's one of those things, it's poker. Let's go on to the next one. But yeah, you can make a deep run if you know how to.